So, back from Richmond, Virginia, where I had the luxury, the honor, the privilege to speak in front of, I think it was about 150, maybe 170 people at Dealmaker 2020, sponsored by or run by or whatever that's called, Jim Ingersoll, a friend of ours. And there's not many people that could have got me on an airplane just after getting back from Asia to go to the East Coast and come back within 24 hours. But Jim is one of those guys. So I wanted to do a couple things. I had a great time. It was a lot of fun. I think I spoke for almost 2 hours, and I want to just summarize kind of the takeaways I had from that event because I think they are both meaningful and eye-opening. And if you happen to be listening to this and you were at the event, tell me what you think as well. Excuse me. But before I do that, I want to thank a couple of folks who have been watching this channel for quite some time. Actually bought the book One Rental at a Time, and I'm hopefully going to have their picture as the thumbnail for this video, assuming I can make that work. But they were nice enough to bring me a book. The Power of Failure, 27 Ways to Turn Life's Setbacks into Success. They brought me this book. They actually had it for a while, they said. After watching some of my earlier videos talking about not sure what I'm doing after I retire, kind of all that stuff. So I believe it was Tim and Mary. Actually, I think I wrote it down. Yes, Tim and Mary. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I will read this. Um, but I still have this nagging cough. Yuck. Anyways, so I wanted to talk about the 5 things that I took away. The first one is, and I don't know if this surprised me or shocked me or both, but that whole 8 to 80, it's about going bigger, 1031 exchange, houses to apartments, all of that. But I'm really glad I made a point that that's phase 2. And I told people, I think it was 4 times. And you can actually watch the presentation. I loaded it yesterday, at least a dry run, right? It was more fun in front of the audience with questions and stuff, but I didn't record that. Maybe Jim will give it to us and we can load it later. But anyways, it was permission to stay small. And I don't want to use the word small, but basically stay at 8. It was amazing how many people came up to me and said, thank you. I guess social media and all these people are talking about going big and these monster goals, and people are starting to feel like they have to have those goals. And again, I said it 4 or 5 times that if you only got to 4 single family homes, you're going to fundamentally change your financial future. And if you went from 4 to 8 to 10, you win. I mean, I don't know how else to say it. If you end up with 8 to 10 single family rentals, I don't know you or your markets or any of that, but I got to assume 95% of you, that's going to be life changing, right? You're going to put 30% down. The tenants are going to pay off the other 70. You're going to have what? 100% appreciation in 30 years? 200? You're going to have rent growth? I mean, your life is going to be fundamentally different. So I want to say it again. There is no reason you have to have these ridiculous goals of thousands of units. It is 100% ego. It is stupid. It is stressful. It's unneeded. And for some of you, you're so stuck on a big number, you never get started. And that's just a crime, right? So do yourself a favor. I give you permission to have your first goal be 4 houses. The reason 4 is because those are the easiest to get. After you get 4, and only after you get 4, you can have a new goal of 8 to 10. Morning. Yes, I will report my goals on my next video, but yes, I lost a bunch of weight. It's pretty cool. But I give you permission to have 4, right? You go 4 first. Don't talk about any other numbers. 4. Then you could talk about 8 or 10, whatever you're comfortable with, after 4. So that was a big takeaway. I actually could feel the weight lifting off some people. It's like, oh, I can breathe now. I can actually do this thing. Yes, 1 rental at a time works. If you, yes, I mean, if you just have these big goals and you never get started, that's the greatest failure in the world. Don't do it. Okay, so number one was people felt relieved that they had permission to have a goal of 4, 8, or 10 single family homes. Number two, I think I said it 2 or 3 times in the presentation that multifamily is just ridiculously priced. Now, I was very careful to say I only know one market, and we talked about that. But I had a dozen, if not 15 people come up to me afterwards going, "You are so right. There are stuff selling in my market that is seemingly 2x what it should be worth. The expenses are ridiculously low, and I don't know what people are thinking." So, again, more evidence that multifamily is such a small pool of available units, and there are so many people looking at it that you can do better in single family homes. We did a lot of talk about what I call learning your market. And, if you learn your market, you can just run the numbers, right? You could compare a house with an apartment. It's not that hard. If you need help, link below, right, to the course, but it's not that hard. And you don't need to learn some fancy, cap rate, all these other fancy math spreadsheets that they use to confuse you. No, how much cash do I have to put down to make this thing produce income and figure out the yield, right? So multifamily is priced just expensive across the country. I'm more and more convinced the more people that stop and tell me you're right. So that's good. Uh, the next one's really heartwarming. There was a young lady that saw me speak last year at Jim's event. So this is the second year I went to Dealmaker or Jim's event. I think it was called something different last year. But it basically was very motivating for her. She was a stay-at-home mom. Her husband is, I guess, a painter, kind of contractor type. And she took the discussion from last year of one rental at a time, and she went after it. She set the goal. She learned her market. And fast forward 12 months, I think it might have been 13 months, she has 5 rental homes. And I was so, so happy for her. Where I'm actually trying to get her on this channel next week sometime, but she's pretty busy. But we'll see. That was fun to hear her tell that story of going from nothing to 5 rentals, and that put a huge smile on my face. So again, one rental at a time is okay. Single family homes are okay. You worry about you. Don't follow the people on social media flashing these stupid unit counts and all of that. A side note, I heard another presenter talk after me about somebody who had 100 apartment units and was making negative cash flow. You all know what I call that, right? No alligators. The alligators was eating this guy or this. I actually don't know. This couple, I don't know what it was, alive. They're going to lose them all. I mean, you just can't. Negative cash flow is bad. All right. So number four, you can't run multifamily below 40% expenses. There were so many people in the room that came up to me and actually, one person showed me a spreadsheet where they had 20% expenses on I think it was an 81 unit apartment building. I'm like, that's not possible. I have houses that don't run at 20%. So again, these people are getting very creative in their spreadsheets and their deal making, and you don't believe them, right? If you don't see 40% expenses on apartments, shred it or use it as draft paper. It's junk. It's not possible. So that's number four. And then the last one again is kind of motivating for me. It makes me feel that all this time, effort we're putting into this one rental at a time message is making a difference. People people are seeing that they can change their future with one rental at a time. People can change their future if they just get to 4 rental houses. And as somebody who talks to you daily, to see it evolve and kind of grow, right? I think I've been doing this for 18 months or something. It's pretty cool. And to see multiple people at an event on the East Coast, right? I've been to Virginia, Richmond specifically, 5 times in my life. And to see the number of people that subscribed to the channel, bought the book, Oh, by the way, most of you still owe me a 5-star review on Amazon. Lots of you raised your hand, so I expect like 30 5-star reviews. Lots of you admitted to not doing that yet. So if you guys watch this Jim's event, you guys owe me some reviews. But it's really fun to see that people are changing their lives, right? I've told you since the very beginning, I'm trying to create something that lasts for 100 years and helps 1,000 people. It's, I can feel the boulder moving for the first time, right? Part of anything we do, it takes a while to get it going. And I think it's moving. It's moving ever so slowly. So we're going to keep going. We're going to keep pushing, and hopefully that momentum picks up. So in the end, I want to thank everybody who was there. It was great. Gifts are always appreciated. I appreciate it, especially when you have a reason for this. It was great. And if you do have events, I like speaking at events. And if you know of a big event, you know that you happen to be running one, or know of one that would benefit from a buy and hold landlord, make an introduction. Let's see if we can't get out there and help some more people. So that was a lot of fun. I am now going to record my goals update. And to one of the comments earlier, we will be talking about how much weight I've lost because I like it. All right, everybody, have a great day. Take care of yourself. Bye.